What's going on, everybody? Thank you for coming to the show each and every week, checking out our videos, liking and subscribing to the channel. Tonight, Doc Chris and I are going to be getting into a few different topics. Chris, how are you doing tonight?
Dude, I'm ready to talk about some freaking Spider-Man trailers is what I'm doing tonight.
Yeah.
How are you doing tonight?
Doing good, man. So it was a nice crisp day outside, if anyone did touch grass. Chat, make sure you get out and touch some grass. You know, it's good for all of you. It's better for some of you. Oh, yeah, I'm talking to all you people talking crap about Casey and his his views on the Eternals. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in each and every week, liking, subscribing. So, Chris, Spider-Man No Way Home new trailer just dropped, and holy crap, there's a lot of stuff in there. I want to know, what was your reaction when you saw it?
I was like, holy hell, that's a lot of bad guys on screen at one time in the same shot. So it's gotta have one hell of a finale. Like, that's gonna be fun. Like,
oh, hell yeah.
I don't really care. Like, obviously, it's got to have a good story to bring it all together, but at the very least, it promises to be a pretty ridiculous spectacle.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it looks like they're throwing everything in the kitchen sink in this movie, dude. I mean, like one of the shots in the trailer, it's just all of the villains that we have so far just coming at Peter. You know, it's not. It looks sick. You got Jimmy Fox's Electro, you got Sandman, you got Lizard. There's probably a few that are CG'd out of the shot. Like I saw a thing on Twitter where somebody slowed down the Lizard and it looked like he was getting punched invisibly. And I was just like, are we getting some Marvel foolery here? Are we getting some surprises? Just like how, remember, if the Infinity War trailer, they had like Hulk there, like running in Wakanda at the end. There's a few other things that were taken out.
Thor didn't have an eye patch.
Yeah, that's right. Also, yeah, Thor didn't have an eye, but he had both eyes. Yeah, so there could be some tomfoolery there. So again, also Tom almost spoiled something during the live react. No way, come on.
Yeah, I believe that. That sounds like exactly a Hollandism.
That's so crazy. Yeah, because he went live on his Instagram, you know, and I like how the cast had did like a live reaction thing. Yo, like they must be sweating every time they put this kid up and be like, yo, all right. Behave. It's almost coming out. Just chill, okay? He stopped himself. Like, I wonder what he said. He's like, oh, I mean, great. Wasn't it great when when Garfield? Toby. But Chris, let's get back into the trailer here. And what are your thoughts on the movie? You got some points here.
I do. One of which I'm kind of surprised at. The amount of Doc Ock that we saw here, I feel, which makes me think, I'm wondering if it's going to be the old bad guy gone good type of scenario, where he's like more allied with them than we think, which also then pretty much opens up another spot for someone else in the Sinister Six as well. Because we already see, we see Electro, Lizard, we know Green Goblin's there, Sandman. Then technically, if we're counting, Doc Ock is 5, and then supposedly we're also getting. Well, we know that Michael Keaton's going to return as Vulture in something. Maybe he's in this as well, which would be 6. But if one of them, whether it be Michael Keaton or Doc Ock, making the turn, that means they got room for a few others as well. Man, I'm excited. I also don't know the black Spidey outfit. I'm gonna call it that the black Spidey outfit is not Tom Holland.
Oh, okay.
I'm calling it.
Okay. What do you think it is?
I'm thinking Garfield. So I'm pretty sure we are pretty much all but confirmed that Garfield's gonna be in the movie. Still, I mean, Tobey Maguire is. I feel like there's like he's probably going to show up in some capacity, but I feel like there's less buzz about Maguire being in the movie than Andrew Garfield. So I'm going to say Andrew Garfield is in the black Spidey suit. I could be wrong, but I'm calling my shot right now.
I like that. But isn't there a scene in the last one where he is in that suit and it's Tom?
Yeah, but it's a dream sequence. So whatever, man. But if you see almost so many shots of this have Tom in the regular suit and his mask is off, right? a weird amount of shots in this trailer is Tom Holland's face in the Spidey suit, but not in the black suit.
But I want to ask you a question. Like towards the end, like the little stinger here, it looks like there's some purple stuff in the sky, and Doctor Strange is saying, "Oh, they're coming through, and we can't stop them." I pause it so many times to be like, "Oh, I wonder what's going on there. Is that the SpiderVerse? Is that like what do you think that is? What's coming through?"
It's I mean, it's a reality. I guess it is like the multiverse. Like think of the end of Loki, man. Like the background outside of what he who remains or whatever. He Who Remains, like that's kind of what the sky looked like when, you know, all the realities are starting to break. So we'll see what happens there, but I mean that's kind of what's going on. But it's like, all right, all these guys already came through and they already teamed up. Like that was fast.
Yeah.
What's going on? Did you guys not coordinate this shit?
What the hell?
You're just like, oh, these guys are fighting Spider-Man? I guess I fight Spider-Man. I guess I'm going to help this guy out. But that happens like 6 times in a row. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about like about the part? I don't know if I like this, like Doc Ock, like sort of like teaming up with them a little bit. Like, what's I mean, can he just be a villain? I mean, so I take it as, oh my god, they're doing another Peter Parker father science figure. Come on, like, are we really gonna do this again? Again, like he's not Iron Man. Iron Man's gone. We're gonna sub in Doc Ock to fill that role. Let Spider-Man be Spider. I'm still of the mind that I still want a movie where he's just Spider-Man in New York. And when this trailer dropped, there's a tweet that I agreed with. Someone's like, I like these moments in the movie better. And they clipped certain parts of the movies where he's just helping out like the little guy, like around New York. And I'm like, yeah, I like those better. He's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. None of this like huge, like world-saving, universe-saving stakes. But yeah, I'm still of the mind that we should have gotten one where he's just Spider-Man in New York, doing like that thing, you know, really being Spider-Man. Like him being in Europe didn't do anything for me. That's not like what Spider-Man is. I get why they did it. Like to me, it just seemed like marketing. Like, yeah, let's make him international because he belongs to the world and it's great for marketing. But
it didn't matter. It, like literally, that was my big problem with the movie. Is he went friggin' Europe hopping, but it straight up couldn't happen. He could have gone to New Jersey and it would have had the same damn effect. Like it doesn't matter. But like, you know, you have your big Avengers movies where it zooms out and it truly is a global thing. But then like I kind of like when they break it back down and they make their own self-contained story. Like that's what they do with Ant-Man. Like the 2 Ant-Man movies, they're all localized to San Francisco, and it gives you more variety. Like every Marvel movie from here on out doesn't need to be an Avengers movie. You need to, you know, the only reason that, you know, in things hit so hard is because you don't get them as often. You got to kind of delay that gratification. You got to have a couple valleys so that when the big stuff happens, it's like, all right, cool. This is something new. This is an event, not the world is ending every single movie.
Yeah, and I agree with that too. Like, we don't need like these big high stakes. I mean, think about movies that people really enjoy that didn't have huge world-ending stakes, right? Like your Deadpool's, Logan. You know, like these movies that didn't have like big world-ending stakes.
They're more
like,
intimate.
Yeah, like and I think people can kind of vibe with them more. I mean, even like, you know, like Joker, which I did. It was kind of long, but I kind of enjoyed it. You know, there wasn't like a big, huge like sky beam at the end that you don't really need that kind of thing. Like, you know, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, I rather enjoyed it when it was just about the family. It didn't go Marvel with like a huge dragon and all that other stuff at the end.
Until the finale.
Yeah, the finale just went full on, like full send.
They marveled the shit out of that.
Oh my God, they did. I liked it when it was just a conflict between like him and the family and the father, you know, like when it was just like, you know, be careful you speak to me, boy. Like you stood by and watched while she died and you did nothing. And he's just like, you made me into a killer. And it's just like, yeah, and then they fight. And it's just like, that's cool. And it's like, okay, now there's a dragon. Now there's a demon. Now it's like, okay, we don't need to go. Demon. Yeah, no, it's a dragon demon. It's sucking out souls of like Shang Tsung. I'm like, we don't need it to go that far for us to enjoy it. I mean, like Dune had pretty big stakes, but it wasn't like world ending. It was about the family dying and being killed off in Dune. And that's what I really liked. It wasn't about a galactic like thing that was going on. It wasn't about the universe, man.
Dude, that's what I liked about the movie The War of the Worlds, the Tom Cruise version, is like it wasn't about them saving the world. It was about them reacting to things that happen. You don't have to follow the guy that is like flying the friggin' spaceship into the center of the aliens to blow them up. Follow the people that are just reacting to it. It makes for like a much more interesting movie, and you don't have the same cliches.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Marvel, if you're listening, just you can make Spider-Man a more intimate thing. It doesn't need to be this world-breaking thing. But this movie is like this is really expectations. The movie. I mean, there's so much. People are just like, yo, this movie needs to deliver with everything. Oh man, the expectations and the bar for this for so many people is so high. It's so this movie can't fail. It's so high, and it's kind of cool because this movie, just like you said, I agree. It's an event. It's less than a movie. It's more of like what's going to happen. But to me, like I hope I hope it doesn't really fall on this is just the beginning of the multiverse of madness. Like this is just the setup movie. But I'll say some things that I do like. I like hearing William Dafoe. Oh
Yeah.
my god! Like that dude, that guy's voice is coming in, Peter. It's like
He is.
oh my
He's
god!
awesome.
Just even hearing that Parker, like oh man, and the narration that goes on, seeing him fly around, like seeing Doc Ock like doing his thing, and I'm so glad they got Alfred Molina, man. So
yeah.
good.
Beautiful.
One of the best Spider-Man movies. Great actor. I'm glad he's back. Don't really care for the father figure science thing going on. I do think it's cool that he kind of upgraded his tech. Looks like he has some Stark tech on his. I could be wrong, but like he's got some red and some gold.
He's got some red in there.
On those tentacles. So I'm just like, there's something going on with him because when there's a part of a trailer where he first kind of appears to Peter on a highway scene. He doesn't have that tech, and then later he does. So is there an enhancement going on?
What I'm
like,
thinking.
yeah, like what's going on here? And there's probably definitely some parts where they CG'd out the other Spider-Man because we know they're here. But man, Doc Ock looks good. Lizard looks good. I mean, that's from the Andrew Garfield verse. Sandman, I thought that was really in the OG Spider-Man. I thought that was a really good story to tell about this guy.
Oh yeah, he was the highlight of that movie,
dude. It was so great. I loved his origin story. It was so fantastical and so comic booky. It really transported you to their world. I mean, like Spider-Man's pretty grounded, but when that was happening, it's just like, oh, there's this machine that's turning him from this molecular, like human being to this half like sand person who can turn it. Like it was just so comic booky. It's something you expect on like a Universal ride, which is like, whoa, we're turning into a thing. Well, here we go. We're going down this way. Yeah, it was like a ride. So I was happy to see him. We got Benedict Cumberbatch doing his Doctor Strange thing. He's so brilliant. I'm so glad we have him as Doctor Strange, dude. He's so I can't see anybody else as Doctor Strange. He's so good.
Controversial question for you.
Uh-oh.
Do you think that this is too soon for us to be getting a Spider-Man movie?
Ooh.
Because if you think of, all right, we got Endgame, immediately followed by Far From Home. And then obviously Panda Times ruined timelining of like anything. But then we had Black Widow, which was stuck in development hell and by all rights probably should have come out before Endgame, right? So like that really takes place kind of before then. And then it turned like I just feel like this is very rushed. Like if 2020 didn't happen, like this would have been very soon. Like this feels very soon as far as like we haven't really done a palate cleanser for Spider-Man yet. Like I think we're like a year or two too soon for this movie to come out for it to like be a regular cadence. But also, Sony still does have some control over the character, so they probably want to keep things rolling. Anyway, that's my opinion. What do you think? Am I right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, I can see what you mean because it kind of does seem like and I can't remember if I saw because I love watching behind the scenes like interviews, especially whatever. I love like seeking out what a director has said or like a president of the entertainment company, like what Kevin Feige or Chloe Zhao or this person or that person. And I vaguely remember Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios, talking about how they want to do this multiverse idea and it's been in the works for a while. But I don't think that's the case. I think when they saw how Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse did and how people really took to that movie, it really did gangbusters in the box office. Story was great, one of the best Spider-Man movies, and they're like, multiverse, huh? So that works with people. And everyone understood that. What if we do something like that? So it kind of seems like maybe there was, I think you're right. I think there was a course correction, and I think maybe this wouldn't have been the plan unless like that movie or maybe even other movies like with what they were trying to do over at DC with their whole multiverse thing kind of came true. So I do think they were kind of trying to get to this point as quickly as possible to make like a new, more interesting phase of Marvel, because there was no talk of the multiverse and stuff a while ago. There was just like a new phase, or we knew some movies were coming. We knew Black Panther 2 was happening. We knew another Captain Marvel movie was happening, but nothing with the multiverse. So I think there was a course
It's really like
correction.
the last 3 years, right? That this has been an actual conversation about what's going on there. And and the other thing is like most of our superheroes so far, they're standalone movies. We've only really gotten 3 of them. Like we haven't seen, and that's mostly the case for a lot of franchises, right? Like with the exception of a few, you get 1, 2, 3, and then that may be it. And then obviously with Marvel, you have seen other, the Avengers movies, like they're not their own standalone movies, so we see those characters come back again and again and again. But I'm wondering, like, what is a 4th Spider-Man movie going to look like?
Ooh,
And like, how soon are we gonna get that?
it is a really good question. I agree with Kiki and Dragon in the chat. Spider-Man is a new Iron Man. They're giving him a trilogy
Yeah.
before we even see the whole team. Yeah, I mean, they're basically like gassing him up to be the new leader and the new like main character, because even before these movies, so Spider-Man worldwide is popular. He's an icon that's recognizable, right? Like you can go to to certain parts in the Philippines and you can show a picture of like Batman, Spider, and they know exactly who he is. Like Will Smith talked about how Men in Black is in every language around the world. Because like there was like a talk show where she was like, "Is there some place you don't get recognized?" He's like, "If there is, I haven't found it yet." But so Spider-Man is so recognizable. So even before the Tom Holland movies, like they know they can bank on him. So making him the kind of sort of the new leader-ish thing, is a good idea. Well, one thing we haven't said is I do like the Jamie Foxx look for Electro. I do like it. So from the trailer, the little snippet that we get, I'm like, ooh, he's not blue. He looks like a regular guy who just like put on tech, or maybe he's channeling his electric powers through the tech so he doesn't like mess himself up. But I do like how when he powers up, he gives himself like the face shield that's like the comic book, like you see like the star from like the comic book. And if you guys have seen the OG what Electro looks like, he has a goofy yellow and green costume with like a star on his for a mask. Yep. And I kind of like how they're doing that, but like electric. Like I was like, oh, okay, it looks pretty cool. So we'll have to see what it fully looks like, but I like that he's not blue, he's not weird looking. And they're
not a weird looking thing.
Yeah, because I never liked him. Like, why is he this weird Dr. Manhattan looking type thing? I get it, Electro, so he's blue, but I'm like, they made him bald and weird looking. I was like, Jamie Foxx doesn't look good bald. Like, what is this thing? And he was like this weird, like shut in, and like I was like, what the hell?
What a weird portrayal of that character too. Again, I think.
Yeah, I
think I talked about this before. I recently did my wife and I, in kind of preparation of this movie, we did a walkthrough of all the other Spider-Mans.
Oh, cool.
And let me tell you, the very first Willem Dafoe Spider-Man as a movie does not hold up. Obviously, Willem Dafoe is amazing, but the story is terrible. But Spider-Man 2, still great. Spider-Man 3, slightly better than I remember it, but still pretty trash. But then, the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and Amazing Spider-Man 2, just weird villains, man. Like, just not super fleshed out, very one-dimensional. So I will be glad to see a redemption of the Lizard and Electro to be much more well-rounded characters in this.
Oh, definitely. And especially like with like Doc Connors. I mean, I love the OG 90s Spider-Man cartoon, and it had such great writing and great acting and stuff like that. And I forget the actor's name who played the Lizard Man in Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man, but I think he did a pretty good job. But like the Lizard has such like a tragic story. It's pretty good. So hopefully we see some of that. But let's see, who else we got here? Alex looks bad. All the movies are bad. It's like we were just talking about how this movie is just like expectation of the movie. They're throwing everything in the kitchen sink in here. Like Doc Chris was saying how like it seems too soon that they're doing this, because what does the next Spider-Man movie even look like? And I think there was like a rush to the multiverse to try to like get that going, because now they can do anything and everything because of like the multiverse. There's one thing in contention though. Since all the villains are coming back from the other Spider-Man movies, there looks like there's a Green Goblin that was played by either Dane DeHaan or the Green Goblin played by what's his name that's problematic now in Hollywood? James Franco.
Oh yeah.
Yes, yeah. So there's a version of that. It looks like a real person on a Goblin glider. So I'm wondering if that is Dane DeHaan from the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man, or if it's the James Franco one, because they would have filmed this before all this stuff from James Franco like came out.
Well, it's not a flying snowboard, so get that one for us.
True. Or is it Ned?
Dude.
It could be Ned. I mean, if anyone follows the actor, he got in shape. He got in shape for. I mean, it could have been personal, but at the same time, he got in really good shape. So I don't know. Maybe he's turned into some kind of a hobgoblin or something like that. I don't know. But people were like, So is that James Franco? Is that Dane DeHaan? Or is that Ned? Who knows? Oh man, I think they're setting up a Spider-Man reset. They give us a real Spider-Man movie after this. Oh, Oh, you think so? Interesting.
Will we get the Miles Morales?
Oh,
you thinking it's going to pass the torch,
bro? They need to. They need to. I mean, come on, you're Spider-Man in New York now. Now, it's got to be Miles Morales. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And it'd be cool too to have like Peter, especially that he's so young, have someone like Miles Morales to like bounce stuff off of. You know what I mean? Like them being friends, like being pals, like it would do so well. Especially that people like love Into the SpiderVerse. I mean, it's so good. You know, they could really add him. Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, with the multiverse, they could really add Miles Morales, and it would make sense now.
Like give him the focus, so you can still have Tom Holland popping in every once in a while, but then Miles kind of does his own thing. Also, it probably helps for Marvel as a whole that Tom Holland perpetually looks like he's 12, so he can just always be in high school.
Right, because he's just like, I'm Nathan Drake. Like, you're a young Nathan Drake. I'm Nathan Drake, and I drink my milk, and I'm a big kid now. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, like hopefully this movie is good. You know, I hope it has the pace of like Infinity War. Infinity War started and it just didn't stop. Like stuff just kept happening in Infinity War, and it didn't stop until the end.
No time for character development. You save that shit for the sequel.
Exactly. Let's just keep going. I mean, there's so many moving parts in this movie. There's all these villains and stuff. So I don't see how there can be a slow part in this movie. Let's go in this thing and let's start swinging. So this movie comes out December 17th. So hopefully it'll be good. But any final thoughts on the new trailer?
I mean, I feel like I may have been talking some shit this whole time, but I am excited for this movie. It's just you gotta go deep. You gotta go deep for these things and think about like, okay, well, if we're seeing this, what does that mean? It's gonna it's gonna be a fun movie. There's no denying this is going to be a fun movie. All these actors are super fun to watch on screen. There's a reason they have these jobs. There's a reason we've already seen these guys in at least 4 titles already, and at no point have we ever been disappointed with any of these characters.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see. That's the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Let us know what you guys think. What are your expectations for this movie? Is it all or nothing? Are you lukewarm on it? I'm sure that some people are just like, looks all right, I'll just watch it. And some people are like, it needs to be everything and more. Let us know. Make sure to hit that subscribe